You know, in Delta, for instance, when he came, he went into the creeks, talked to traditional rulers, visited the Niger Delta University site, you know, and all those places. And I can tell you that that went a long way in creating the peaceful atmosphere that we're having there right now. Because the elders and the leaders now, okay, they talk to the boys, look, the federal government is showing some positive
faith towards,
you know,
towards
the area. So just cool down. Now some of these things will take quite some time to realize, you know. I think what they did, they had this immediate, medium term and long term. Some of them will take quite some time to realize. But agreements have been reached. I know there's one agreement, about 16-point agreement that have been reached.
Yes.
So it is for us to say, okay, we have this agreement with the federal government. Let us take the ones that they are doing. But we should not just be on the side and watch the federal government. We should encourage them. We should be with them to be able to push. Now, right now, the Niger Delta people that are with the APC and the federal government, especially in positions of authority, for me, they are not enough. We have some key ones, you know, but they are not enough, especially in the National Assembly. You know, the APC senators in the National Assembly, I think they used to be one or two and all
yes.
that. In the whole of
it's still largely like that.
Yeah, the whole of the
still
South.
Largely like that.
The whole of the South. So it's not encouraging, because if you are not in the party and you are a senator, you know, you are an opposition senator, it's difficult to push
anything because it's a game of numbers.
Yeah, it's a game of numbers. It's difficult to push things. So that's why I said, look, I'm interested in going to the Senate. Okay, let me join APC. By God's grace, I become a senator. It will be easier for me, you know, to
actualize that ambition using the platform.
Yes,
and achieve the national
and push some of those
objective.
things that have been agreed between the federal government and the region.
I have to ask you this, though. There are those who will indicate that, first, before I come to your ambition, even the issue of the Niger Delta, that when the government came in, it came in with all guns blazing, because that was the time they had the difficulty with Tompolo and a number of others in the immediate aftermath of the handover. Now, from what you're saying, what I get is that this engagement was encouraged and facilitated by people like you, who knew that that aspect of strategy would not work because it had been tried before. And this is the people's terrain. They live here. Whoever is coming is going to come from outside. They live there, and they are the ones who are bearing the brunt of whatever it is that they're complaining about, be it environmental pollution, be it the whole issue of not getting the resources from whatever is produced in that area. There are problems with the international oil companies and all of that. But having said that, as of today we've spoken, you mentioned the Maritime University. It developed into some kind of crisis as well. First of all, its location even, where it was located. And then even the whole issue of what was done in the run-up to its establishment, things like the contract for its execution, the buildings and so on. Now, in view of what you said, and that's why I'm asking you, because I know you are not in charge of any of these things, but I ask you as an important stakeholder, what do you think is happening with those things now? Because sometimes, from time to time, we still hear people saying, what's happening? We have not heard anything about this. Maybe not necessarily people in the Niger Delta, but Nigerians ask. They say, what's happening? We had a lot of noise at some point, but then now it's gone quiet again.
No, it has started. It has started. They've employed, it has started. It has taken off. There's a vice chancellor, there's a governing council. The normal university structure is already there. Now, yes, and that's why people need to understand, the Niger Delta very well. Because the things that can cause problems, sometimes they are very little to outsiders. A name. It wasn't even the location. The issue was the name of the location, of that location. Okay, He just said, oh, this is the name. Shekiri said, no, this is the name. You know, and the university was named with the Ijon name.
Okay.
Shekiri said, no, that it's our land.
So you can't name it with an Ijon name.
They went to court and all that. So you see, and if you are not skillful in managing it, that could have caused a lot of crisis. But fortunately, what started this 1997 crisis? It's local government headquarters.
That's right.
You know, people are, for Christ's sake, how can local government headquarters be
cause crisis
that is still until today? Well, you see, the place is very sensitive, and he was very careful in managing things like that. So the university has taken off. Now, let me address the issue of the complaint about the cost of
yes, about building it and all that. Yes.
Now, let me say, I happen to know that site, you know, before anything came up at all. Now, the first time I went there, you know, to see Tompolo, it was right in the middle of the creek, swampy. You now put your boat somewhere, and we had to trek a kilometer inside swamp. What they did was to put wood.
Well, yes,
just
for you to pass,
pass and together. It was really thick, swampy area. But today, it's been turned to where people, all the things you see, the pictures, you know. But you see, to get to that structure that you are talking about, there has to be a lot of excavation of the swamp, sand filling. The cost of excavation and sand filling alone in the Niger Delta can build a whole city. So when people talk about shouting, oh, it was too expensive and all that, they do not appreciate the kind of terrain that is and of course, the things, materials are used to do it, you have to transport them by boat, you know, and it's expensive, water transportation, especially of building materials.
Yes, because they're heavy and they're of varied quantities.
So people must appreciate that. When you are shouting, it's too expensive, it's too expensive. I was in office when some World Bank people came, you know, to visit me. I said, look, people shout that the cost of construction in Niger Delta is too much. Please give us an expert, get your people to study the Niger Delta and advise us on what it costs to construct a kilometer of road. Of course, they never came back. They never came back, you know, because people say, oh, it's so expensive. It is really, really challenging because first of all, excavate, sometimes up to 4-8 feet. Then you sand fill. And that can take 2 to 3 years even.
Yeah, just to do that.
Just to do that, because you have to allow the sand settle. Sometimes you put on top and all that. It's quite difficult and challenging to construct in the Niger Delta.